Of Roald Dahl's Fantastic Mr. Fox. Here's what happened when we sent another alpha male, Peter Andre, to last night's star-studded premiere.
For tonight's premiere of Fantastic Mr. Fox, I could tell you about the Fantastic book it's based on, or I could tell you about the Fantastic animation. I could even tell you about the Fantastic supporting role. But there's only one reason you, me, or anyone's here tonight, and that is for the Fantastic Mr. George Clooney. Oh, yeah. So it's the opening night of the 53rd BFI London Film Festival, and that means lights, cameras, and a whole lot of action. The crowds are out, the autograph books are open, and there's A-list aplenty. Oh, darling, I love ya. Not to mention a few film stars floating about. But stealing the show with not one, not two, but 3 movies playing at the festival is the Silver Fox himself. That's pretty impressive, you know, by anyone's standards. Even George Clooney's. Men Who Stare at Goats features Clooney as a psychic soldier opposite a much more grounded Ewan McGregor.
Stop it! Funny thing is, you could see this just laying around on the ground, and you would never know that it has such lethality.
While his other project, Up in the Air, is a bit more down-to-earth, with Clooney playing a ruthless corporate downsizer that dreams of having 10 million frequent flyer miles.
I'd be the 7th person to do it. More people have walked on the moon.
But tonight, no one's staring at goats.
I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds illegal.
And flying is the last thing on anyone's mind. As Clooney bristles and whistles his way through the premiere of Roald Dahl's Fantastic Mr. Fox.
What's this thing you do, the whistle with the clicking sound?
That's my trademark.
The scene is set when Mr. Fox is caught stealing chickens to feed his family by some rather pesky farmers and loses his tail in the process.
Now, where would you keep a prized tail if you collected them if that was your hobby?
I'd probably hang it over the mantelpiece.
But that turns out to be just one of the many problems Mr. Fox has to contend with.
I'm the son of Mr. and Mrs. Fox, George Clooney and Meryl Streep. And basically I fit into the whole thing because I'm a bit angry. I'm a grumpy fox. I'm 13 years old and I'm a misfit.
Am I getting better, Coach?
Well, you sure as cuss not getting any worse.
Heading up the rest of the all-star cast is Meryl Streep as the faithful Mrs. Fox.
You really are a quote-unquote fantastic fox.
I try.
Foxy lady.
And Owen Wilson is the very confusing Coach Skip.
Whack-Bat's real simple. There's 3 grabbers, 3 taggers, 5 twig runners, and the player at Whack-Bat. Center tagger lights a pine cone, chucks it over the basket, and the Whack-Batter tries to hit the cedar stick off the cross rock. Twig runners dash back and forth until the pine cone burns out, then you count up however many score downs it adds up to and divide that by 9.
But before you start thinking this is a little Clooney tunes, you should know that Mr. Fox does have help from Bill Murray. So tell us about your character, Badger.
Well, he's an animal. He's a lawyer, and he's a counselor to the Fantastic Mr. Fox, and he gives him very solid, very good advice.
In summation, I think you just got to not do it, man. That's all.
I understand what you're saying, and your comments are valuable, but I'm going to ignore your advice.
Well, the time had finally come to have a chat with the main man when disaster struck. Now, look, apparently George's not doing any interviews with anyone tonight.
If what I think is happening, it better not be.
Where there's a will, there's a way. We will try. But then, when hope had all but disappeared, he walked over, he came close, and then he walked away. Maybe I could have got George Clooney, you know? I mean, he was here, and I went, and then I went, and he was gone, just like that. Just like a cunning fox. Didn't even stop for me. Georgie, disappointed.
Very good. You see, very important lesson learned there, wasn't there? It's tough to do. Tough to get them to stop. You're going to shout out something that alarms them normally.
Didn't you say Alison hit him or something?
Yeah, she hit him with a microphone.
Over the head. Boff.
Yeah. I'm not recommending that you do that in future.
I'm happy dealing with just one silver fox, actually.
Sweet.
The movie's had the most fantastic reviews, and it's also got the seal of approval from Roald Dahl's wife.
Yes.
She said, no, he would have approved.
I think it's one of his best stories, actually, so I can't wait to see it.
It's a British book with American actors, And the only grumpy people in it are the British farmers, which I thought was quite funny, actually. But I think it's a great, you know, it's great how they made it into a movie using British and American.
Well, they're saying that he's going to be a new sort of cult character for this season's in the movie. So, OK, that's the movies. Your life at the moment would appear to be something of a movie. I'm going to have to point this out, Pete, because it's in the paper. It's on the front page today of the Star. These aren't words that I would have expected to have come out of your mouth. Do you want to explain what happened here?
Look, basically, OK, first of all, this was a private matter that should not have gone out into the public domain, which really annoys me that when something private happens, within a minute, it's out there. OK, the bottom line is, for 5 days, I was not allowed to speak to my kids. Anyone close to me knows that. I couldn't speak to them. And then the night before last, I got on the phone saying, I want to speak to my kids. And I was handed the phone to this man who said he's the man of the house now, and he refused me to speak to my children. Now, I'm not perfect. I am human. I am a father. But I don't know any father that would not react to some man saying, no, you're not speaking to them. And I lost my temper. I admit it.
Did you say those words?
I didn't say, not even close to most of those words. And I look at it and I think, well, that's a bit cheeky, you know, what's happened. Then you read the article inside and you see how words are just swapped around. And
Peter, why
some of those words I wouldn't even say.
Why do you think he won't let you speak to your kids?
I think there's just a ridiculous game going on. I'm tired of it. I just want to move on, you know, in every sense of the word. My kids are my life. I don't care about anything else but them. I've said that 100 times, 1,000,000 times. And everyone knows the only way to push my buttons is not to let me speak to my kids or see them. And that's what's been happening. I could have handled it maybe if it was kept private, but this man should not have come out there trying to act like Dad and not let me speak to my kids. And that's probably why I overreacted. And at least I admit that I lost my temper, which is very rare. Certainly words like, I don't know if I can say it, but fag and tranny are not words that I use. So, you know, that's kind of upset me a bit, because I know people will get offended by that. But
well, I mean, the unfortunate part about it, going back to the very first time we talked about this, in fact, I think sitting in these positions right here, was that you didn't want this to get played out in public. You didn't want it to be the sort of tit for tat thing, backwards and forwards. And as happens in so many relationships, where you sort of when the relationship breaks down and you try to stay on the best possible terms, and then it comes apart, that it does end up being played in public.
I mean, a private phone conversation should be kept private. I believe that within minutes it was put on Facebook, and what can you do? That's the way it is. It's a game, and I really don't want to be dragged into it. I've overreacted at one point. I'm stepping away from it again. I don't want to know. Yeah.
And we're sorry for everyone involved here.
But I went to a great premiere last night.
Yes, of course. And also, you are working for us, I think, tomorrow. Who have you got?
Yes, Shakira.
I interviewed Shakira, and that was amazing, actually. Absolutely amazing. She's a lovely lady. And
so you did actually get to speak to her?
Yeah, we had.
We've got proof. I actually think we've got a tiny little clip. We can have a little look at it. Let's see.
I know that you are keen to have a baby because you're from a big family, right?
Yes, I am.
How many have you got?
In my family, I'm the 8th one.
Can I tell you how many my dad's one of? He's one of 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
They didn't have television, I guess.
No radio, electricity, nothing.
They made a good use of their time.
Even candles went out at about 6 o'clock.
She seemed very nice.
She's gorgeous, and someone said to me, oh, did you fancy her? I said, can I just tell you something? Her boyfriend is the son of the ex-Colombian president. I said, do you know how much gangster stuff would be involved in that? I said, I wouldn't even look at her.
Step away.
Nice lady, though. Very nice lady.
Yeah, that's on the show tomorrow. Pete, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for having me on. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Right now, then.